This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is now available on Amazon. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Count time on the compound. All inmates return to bunks. Beyond the Count, Life on the Compound. Brought to you by former Sergeant Allen of the Florida Department of Corrections. On this YouTube channel, I will explain to you the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts of a prison. Hope y'all enjoy. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a brother or sister correctional officer, y'all remember, be safe and we never walk alone.
All right, y'all. It's another episode of Beyond the Count, Life on the Compound. Former Sergeant Allen, Florida Department of Corrections, Everglades CI, Century, New River CI, and I also worked briefly for the George County Sheriff's Department here in Mississippi. All right, y'all. I hadn't done a CO video in a while, so I think I'm going to. Saw this on the Florida Correctional Officers Online Facebook group that I'm in. A lot of us are former COs. A lot of them are current COs. There's about 6,000 people in that. So, got to give due respect to my brothers and sisters who are on there. Y'all that are still on the job, I'm glad for it. This is a story out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Florida attorney accused of soaking papers with cocaine to bring to inmates. Now, I'm not going to read the article. I don't need to. I think the headline pretty well speaks to the heart of where I'm going to go with this video. Yes, I know jails across this country are shorthanded. I don't think that there is a correctional institution or facility or county jail, parish prison, whatever, anywhere that is fully staffed. I don't see it. Very few people, compared to the general public, really want to do that job. I wouldn't mind doing it again. I was good at it before. I think I'd be good at it again. But to those of y'all who are thinking about getting into corrections and those of y'all who are actively doing it, I don't care if you've been doing this for a few days or if you've been doing this for 30 years. One thing never changes. Search. Now we're talking about legal papers. This brings an entirely different set of problems than your average searching in the mailroom, searching envelopes for contraband, making sure that people aren't putting lickables or dissolvable narcotics inside the glue or on the back of stamps or on the inside of the stamps on the envelope or whatever. Just about seen all of that I just mentioned. What I'm going to talk about is the legal mail, though. The legal mail poses a totally different dynamic here. One of the things is you can't read it. You really can't read legal mail. You're not allowed to. Lawyer client privilege, lawyer client confidentiality. It allows the inmate or offender, county jails call them offenders, state inmates, they're inmates. It allows them to have private correspondence with their attorney. And there's good reason for it. I mean, let's face it. If you are an officer being sued, the inmate has a right to sue you. I mean, it's simple as that. They have the right to sue you. They can sue me. I've been off the job now for um, I've been off the job from Florida for a little over a year. I'm still within the statute of limitations. Inmates can sue me. Nobody is that I know of, but for that reason, you can understand why they have the right to have confidential legal mail. Me, I love the Constitution, so I am all in favor of them having their constitutional right to counsel. Well, how do we search this? Well, it's simple. I've seen cell phones in packets of paper that they'll leave the top few pages, and then peel it back, and then there's a little hole that they've cut in the paper that they'll put their contraband, and then they'll put legal mail on top of it and underneath it. And what they're doing is they're calling it all legal mail. You can't search that, officer. That's legal mail. Actually, you can search it. You cannot read it. You can look at the pages to make sure that it's not gang-related activity. Make sure it has a letterhead from an attorney will tell you that. You can through flip through, as in, run your fingers across it, and you'll see a hole right there. If it's modified, most institutions, I can tell you for sure for Florida, it's not in its original form or condition for its intended use. It's contraband. I can tell you for a fact, per Florida Administrative Code, Chapter 33, that's exactly what it is. And at that point, it ceases to be legal mail, and it becomes contraband. Now, you're going to have to write an incident report and do whatever you have to do. A DR will follow it. You find drugs or a cell phone or a weapon in there. Obviously, the inmate will be placed in hand restraints and escorted to medical for a pre-confinement physical and placed in confinement. That's how it works. That's how you handle that. The inmate's going to say, "You wouldn't look through my legal mail." No, you didn't. You didn't read it. You searched it for contraband. Now, this particular jackass, soon to be disbarred member of the Florida Bar, and soon to have a DC number himself, I'm sure, being that he was charged with three felony charges, and could be facing up to 50 years, depending on how good his attorney is. Better hire somebody like F. Lee Bailey, buddy. But apparently he liquefied cocaine somehow and soaked the pages in cocaine. I'm guessing the cocaine can be extracted later and whatever you do with it, snort it. Oh, you eat the paper? I'm sorry, I got a buddy of mine over here. You eat the paper? That's how you do it?
Yeah, you eat the paper because once it's liquefied and put on the paper, you eat the paper.
Okay, somebody just told me that apparently you eat the paper once it's liquefied, and that's how you extract the cocaine and get high. Nothing in this business will surprise you. Once you get past them smoking the word of God to roll their cigarettes in it, they're not supposed to have. Everything else from there is pretty much you just brush it off and shake it off.
If you re-extract it after that, you lose a lot of potency.
Well, how would you? All right, I'm just going to ask. How would you extract it? I'm just curious. How much heat?
You don't get a lot of heat to extract it, but you lose all your potency.
Okay, that answers that question, I guess. Okay, apparently you can take a battery and extract it. I don't know if y'all can hear my buddy over here, but he's more the expert than I am on illicit narcotics. Um,
Or some people like, because even as the
why don't you come over and get on camera and tell, or at least come closer to the microphone and explain this? How about that?
okay,
Because you know more about drugs than I do.
okay, so or they can smoke it
Okay,
because it'll smoke because it'll turn into a vapor that you soak up. Like a cigarette, they can roll that shit in cigarettes too and just smoke it like that.
okay, there you go. And at that point, the second that they start doing this, again, it's contraband. Oh, you'll smell the cigarette smoke, and you'll smell the cigarette smoke, and you'll smell the battery. Trust me, that's the nastiest smell you'll ever smell is a battery.
If they don't extract it, you'll never smell the cocaine.
Right.
Or a dog would be able to.
Well, apparently the way this guy got busted was, I guess the liquefied cocaine left some sort of residue on it that the officer that caught him noticed.
Of course it'll leave a residue. You're soaking it in freaking
Right.
cocaine you melted.
Right. Right. So that's how he was busted. Now, the question is did he violate that inmate's constitutional rights to confidential correspondence between lawyer and client? The answer is absolutely not. This is my legal mail. If I sit here and I read it, I'm violating that inmate's correspondence between lawyer and client. But if I flip through, I go through it, shake it, make sure nothing falls out, you know, I'm not reading it. I'm not. This is simply searching. You want to keep your institution safe and free from drugs? You do proper searches. That's called doing your job. It's called making sure that your facility is safe. It's called making sure that your compound is free from somebody who has, for lack of a better term, retard strength that's going to hurt you. It's going to send you or your fellow officer out to an outside hospital with serious injuries or kill you. That's this is something that we as COs have to deal with every day. And another thing too, what's really big out there and very dangerous, deadly, is fentanyl. Fentanyl, if you inhale enough of it, and it don't take much, lights out. You're dead. You're tagged on the toe, going to the morgue, stuck in a freezer drawer somewhere, dead, awaiting your casket. Be careful. These are dangers that COs face every day. These are dangers that you, as a correctional officer, will face every time you step on the compound. Whether it's you're searching in visitation, a lot of institutions still have contact visitation. Some of them don't. Here in Mississippi, I know a lot of them do not. In Florida, they allow contact visitation. Contact visitation means that they can see their family across the table. They can play board games. They can hug them, hold their hands, whatever. How easy is it to pass contraband? It's very easy. Now, granted, after visitation, you will take an inmate to a strip search room, and you will do what we call nuts and butts, which means you will do a thorough strip search. If you are smart, you will take them in there one inmate at a time. You will go through every article of clothing that they are wearing: shoes, socks, pants, undershorts, shirt, jacket, whatever, hat if they wear it. You will go through every article of clothing, and then you will visually search and inspect every crevice. Open your mouth. Show me behind your ears. Raise your arms. Belly button. Butt crack. Underneath the scrotum. In a female prison, that means other unmentionable areas. In between fingers, front and back of hand. Toes, bottom of your feet. That is a thorough search. Squat and cough. You're looking for strings hanging out somebody's butt. Oh, yeah, it's a nasty sounding job. It's your job. You signed up for it. Century Correctional Institution, 2019, Century, Florida. There was an inmate with 157 grams of K2 shoved up his ass. He had to have that surgically removed, by the way, because he shoved it so far, he actually went into his pelvic area. Don't know exactly how he did it, but he did it. He had to be taken to outside hospital to have that contraband removed from his ass. You'd be really surprised what somebody could fit up their ass. I know it sounds sick, but it's the truth. Maybe I'll do a video dedicated to that one day. Of all the things that me and other officers that I know have found up inmates' ass. Should be a fun one to do. Actually, may do that one next because it's actually pretty funny, some of the stuff you'll find. You got to be prepared for it. This is the job you chose. This is your safety. This is your livelihood. This is guaranteeing that you walk off the compound in the same shape that you walk to work in. My next video is going to be on cell searches, and I'm going to do that here in just a minute. Y'all stay safe.